How's it going? All right, Amy here. It is how to read food labels night. I am so excited about this training. I know a lot of you have been looking forward to it. I'm in my kitchen. It looks dark because the only light I have in here is above my head, and when I turn it on from the screen, it shines down like these big spikes. So I had to turn the overhead light off. That's why it looks so dark back there. Hey guys, I am really, really excited about this how to read food labels. So what we're gonna do tonight, I'm gonna go over the basics of food labels, what they are, what's on them, why they're important, and give you some tips and tricks on how to decode them and things to look for. Then, because we have such an awesome rocking team, we have our own Pink Rockstars Fit Squad, and they are going to be showing you guys live, if it works, fingers crossed. We are going to be showing some labels live. Hey guys, hey Heidi, hey Debbie, I see Tanya, Stephanie. Now, anytime throughout this live, if you guys have any food that you want us to look at the ingredient list, we will do that. Hey, Tammy. Okay, so let's get started. And here's the other thing, guys. If for some reason technology doesn't work out, because I was going to invite them onto the live, I had some glitches when we did it last night. It cut the video. They are just going to go live tomorrow on the team page. So you're still going to get all of their information. Hey, Michelle. Hey, guys. Okay, so let me first get started by saying, you know, with food labels, what we don't know, we don't know. I, though, tonight am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. However, I am very educated in food labels and ingredients. And let me share with you a quick little story. Way before Plexus, okay, way before Plexus. In fact, I was living in Knoxville, Tennessee back in 2002, 2003, and I started having vertigo attacks. I did not know what they were at first, but they were debilitating. The first one, before I knew what it was, I was in bed for days, okay? All right, hey Debbie, I see your Greek yogurt. I will get that one. Remind me when I get to that, okay? I'll say live that we're gonna go to the actual food, so remind me. But so back then I was having vertigo attacks pretty regularly, so severe that Steve would have to come pick me up and drive me home from work, okay? Went to all of the specialists, ear, nose, and throat, went to physical therapy, went to all of the things, all the people. They all said the same thing. They diagnosed me with acute benign vertigo. They said it's an inner ear problem. You will always have it. They said that physical therapy can help a little bit, but you can't ever get rid of it, right? Well, when vertigo attacks happen, they can happen anywhere, anytime, no prediction. And it's not safe. I've had it happen before when I'm driving at nighttime on the freeway going 7 miles an hour. So I took that not as the final answer, and I went to a holistic MD, and you know what he told me to do? This began my education into food labels, okay? He told me to cut artificial sweeteners and high fructose corn syrup. Because of that, I had to learn to read labels, okay? Because that stuff wasn't everything, and guess what? When I cut it out, no more vertigo. Knock on wood, it's 2018. It's been about 16 years. And it got to where I couldn't fly. I couldn't go on a boat. I couldn't drive a car. It was that debilitating. So I learned how to read food labels. So if you're like me back then and this is not something that you are used to doing, it's a skill to learn, all right? What we're going to talk about tonight, though, guys, it is the nutrition we're going to talk about tonight and the food labels and some of the things we're looking for. It's not for a fitness competition. It's not for quick weight loss, okay? Tonight, we're going to be talking about ingredients that are for your health, okay? So when we look at the labels, we're going to be avoiding chemicals. I'm going to show you what keywords to look for. We're going to be avoiding junk and processed food because, listen, we're all here for Plexus. We're all here to get our guts healthy. Those are the things, okay, that harm our gut. There are plenty of quick weight loss diet products out there that are full of chemicals. You might lose weight, but they do more damage in the long term. So tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. Hey, guys. All right. And the other thing, the reason this is so important and you really need to learn how to look at your labels is because, listen, food companies are often not required to give us the information that we want to know, okay? So the current rules on food labeling leave a lot of room for vague claims, and that makes it difficult for us as consumers to differentiate between what's really good and what's really bad, okay? So if you don't know, gosh, don't feel bad. Like I said, this is a learned skill, and a lot of times companies do things and put things on the label to try to trick us. Hey guys, oh, I'm so excited for everyone on tonight. All right, so our Fit Squad is joining me. Hopefully I can get them to go live, all right? But we're gonna go over some basics. Once I go over the basics, then we're gonna open it up for talking about specific foods. I've got some common foods that a lot of people eat, like yogurt and ice cream and lunch meat. We're gonna go over those. But listen, because you know the FDA is in charge of food and drugs, the FDA is what's over all the food labels, okay? So because the rules are so vague, what you find on meat, milk, eggs, packaged food, anything, it can be overwhelming, right? You really need, though, to be informed so you know current labeling practices. Because here's the thing, they change all the time, and it really affects you. Because look, supplements can only do so much, right? Plexus is to help keep our bodies balanced. But if we're eating food that further throws off that balance, they work against each other. So what we want to do tonight is just educate you guys so you can make your own informed decision. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't eat, okay? That's not what we're going to do. We're going to help you make your own informed decision, because if you're making the right food choices and you have your supplements and they're working in harmony, you're going to get better results. Plus you're going to feel better because your body is functioning the way it should, okay? If you watched any of my live videos on the products, you heard me say that our food supply is not what it was 50 years ago. So if you grow an apple in your backyard, it does not have the same nutrients as an apple from 50 years ago. Isn't that crazy? So that's why we really need to know what we're looking at in our food products, okay? Oh, I see you, Michelle. I will catch you here at the end. Remind me, okay? So first, let's go over the basics of a food label, okay? So this I want to show you here is it's a jar of peanut butter. I have a light here. I want to make sure you guys can see it. On the food label, two things make up the food label. One is the nutrition information. That's this box, the nutrition facts, okay? So that's what we're going to pay attention to tonight. We're also going to pay attention to, sorry, it's backwards here, it's like a mirror, the ingredients list, okay? Those are the two things we're going to talk about tonight. And I will actually tell you, in my personal opinion, the ingredients list is way more important than that nutrition label. And here's why. I don't care if something is 0 carbs and 100 calories if it's full of 27 chemicals, right? So what I do, I look at the ingredients first, then I move to that nutrition label. But let's just go over the basics first, okay? So if you have something, you might want to go ahead just so you can follow along. If you have anything, you can pull it up on your browser. Just pull up a food label. We have the nutrition facts. This is where, per the FDA, they have to label fat, calories, nutrients, good and bad nutrients. So they have to do saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sodium, also total carbs. Carbs are made up of sugars and fiber. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit. And protein. They also have to have, per the FDA, the percent of daily values. And we'll talk about that a little bit. But they have these vitamins in here, vitamin A, E, C, calcium, niacin, iron, and riboflavin. We'll talk a little bit about that, but that is what's on your nutrition label. The most important thing about the nutrition label, though, guys, is that it's per serving size. That's how they label the nutrition label. So it's very important. You must always check the serving size, okay? Because if you're watching your calories, which is something I actually don't really recommend, I hate counting, but 100 calories sounds great until you find out it's for only 3 pieces and you've already eaten 27 of them, right? So for this particular peanut butter, it has 190 calories, 16 grams of fat, and 3 grams of sugar, but for 2 tablespoons, all right? I bet when you make a sandwich, you're putting 4 tablespoons of peanut butter on your sandwich, all right? So you definitely want to limit your fat, your cholesterol, and your sodium, but we're going to talk, though, now why the ingredient list is actually way more important. So I will talk about this peanut butter. In fact, later on tonight, I'm going to invite Allie on. She has all kinds of nut butters. And again, if it doesn't work, I apologize. She'll go live tomorrow. But peanut butter is something that is very tricky because most peanut butters are full of sugar and junk. This one is not the best. It is not the best one I should be buying, Adelaide. But we don't eat peanut butter very often, and I hate to spend the money when it's going to go bad. So I'll talk a little bit about that because, hey, listen, ideally, we would all eat food that has no food label, right? If you're eating real food, the food is its label, right? So like lettuce and turkey, right? It doesn't need a food label, okay? But we know that this is real life. We live in the real world. I actually had a McDonald's nugget today, all right? Do not, like, that is so rare for me, but real life happens. That's why I'm taking probiotics, but we're going to give you the tools you need if that's the same thing for you, right? So when you look at the ingredients, okay, I don't care, like I said, I don't care what's on the nutrition label. Anytime I pick something up at the grocery store, I go right to that ingredients list. And this is what took me a while to learn, okay? So when you begin reading food labels, it can almost feel like a second job, okay? I can remember the first time I went to the grocery store after that doctor had told me to avoid high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners. It took me like an hour and a half to do our regular shopping that normally took like 45 minutes because I had to pick everything up and I had to read it. Oh my gosh, everything we ate, the whole wheat bread that I'd been buying forever, the second ingredient was high fructose corn syrup. So once you get into the swing of it, though, it becomes way more natural. But most importantly, it actually puts you back in control of what you're eating, okay? So I would start small. Don't like throw everything out of your pantry. Don't try to look at everything on your grocery list. I would start with a close examination maybe this week of 2 or 3 packaged foods with labels that you eat pretty often, and then look at what you're really putting into your body and see if you want to make a change. So I wouldn't try to go all or nothing because it can be overwhelming, right? The other thing, guys, our food supply is changing so quickly, especially with modified, genetically modified ingredients and new lab-made chemicals that in the food industry, they can mass produce, and it's cheaper for them to put into our food. So even if I've been buying natural Jif for 15 years, it's still a good idea to look at the ingredients because they change them. And they don't have to let you know they've changed them, okay? Things change. A recent example, let me give you an example. Green and Black's chocolate. Green and Black was a chocolate that was all natural. Their dark chocolate was always dairy-free. But guess who just recently purchased them a couple years ago? Kraft. Kraft Foods. So now, to make it cheaper, they have added whole milk powder to that chocolate, so it's no longer dairy-free. They don't have to put that on the label. They have to put whole milk powder in the ingredients, but if you're not reading it, you would not know. So it might seem inconsequential, right? Well, who cares if they add that? But if you're somebody who is lactose intolerant and sensitive to dairy, and that's your go-to chocolate, and then all of a sudden they add that, so it's really good to always continually look. And once you get into the habit, I promise you it'll become second nature, because a lot of these big food companies, they're getting smart. They know we want to buy the organic, all-natural products. So guess what Kraft and Pepsi-Cola and Johnson & Johnson are doing? They're buying those. They're buying those holistic, natural companies, and they're not keeping them holistic and natural. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You don't have to go, all crazy and throw everything out, but let's get back to that ingredients list, okay? The most important thing about the ingredients list, guys, is that they are listed in order of amount, okay? So it's by weight. So the first items on the list make up the bulk of the food, all right? So if you look and it's the very first ingredient, that is what most of the product is, all right? So they're listed in order by weight, and you want to look for foods containing words you do not recognize. You want to look for foods containing unprocessed, or you want to avoid processed foods that you can't even pronounce, okay? If you can't pronounce it, it is not a real food, all right? We're going to talk about some common words that are in those ingredients list, right? But if you can't pronounce it and you don't recognize it, put it back on the shelf and find something else, all right? Another good rule of thumb when you're looking at an ingredients list, less is better, all right? What most people say is you want to buy foods that have no more than 5 ingredients. Now, guys, if you go grab something out of your pantry right now that's not holistic and kind of natural, it's going to have more than 5 ingredients. It's probably going to have 27 to 35 ingredients, okay? I can go grab something. I'm going to here in a minute. I'm going to show you some goldfish. So less is better. Lengthy lists usually are a sign that it has unnecessary extras such as artificial colors, sweeteners, preservatives, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, the biggest thing, now I'm going to show you a quick example of food ingredients. I have everyone's favorite Nutella. It just happens to be in the little sample pack. Got these, I don't know, because they're convenient, right? Sometimes I sacrifice health for convenience, which is not good. But when we're home, look, I have Justin's hazelnut. So Nutella, what is Nutella? It's a hazelnut spread made with cocoa, right? That's what it is. Hazelnut spread. So instead of peanut butter, it's hazelnuts. And they put cocoa in it to make it taste like chocolate. The first thing I do, I'm going to the ingredients list. And remember, they're listed in order of most to least. So the first couple are the ones that are what's in the food mainly, the bulk. And then you want limited ingredients. So I'm looking here, and Nutella has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ingredients. That's not bad. That's pretty good. 8 ingredients, all right? Justin's has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, they both have 8 ingredients. We're doing good, right? Now let's see what the ingredients are. Remember, it's a hazelnut spread. All right, so I look at Justin's. The #1 ingredient, dry roasted hazelnuts. All right, that's what you would expect in a hazelnut spread. What's the second ingredient? Dry roasted almonds, organic cane sugar, organic cocoa butter, palm oil, vanilla powder, and sea salt. Those are all things I can pronounce. And the first 2 ingredients are nuts. Sugar's the third one. So there's still going to be a lot of sugar in here. I mean, they want it to taste sweet, right? So then I'm going to look at Nutella. So we're just looking at the ingredients. I'm not looking yet at the nutrition label, okay? The #1 ingredient in Nutella, sugar, not hazelnuts. The #2 ingredient in Nutella, ready for this? Palm oil, not hazelnuts. So when you open this little package, the bulk of what you're eating is sugar and palm oil. The third ingredient is hazelnuts, then cocoa, then skim milk, whey, lecithin, soy emulsifier, vanillin, and artificial flavor. Which one do you want to put in your body now that you have read the ingredients? I'll tell you the one I want to. I want to put Justin's in there, okay? Justin's. I could pronounce all of them, and it's mainly nuts. This is mainly sugar and oil. So see, when I read the ingredients, I don't even have to look at the nutrition label. I don't care if this has less, or I don't care if Nutella has less sugar, because for me, the ingredients is most important, all right? Because we know artificial anything really causes that leaky gut syndrome, and from there, that's why we're all here, right? We all have the autoimmune disease, the migraines, the IBS, the weight gain, okay? Yeah, Tamsin, you're allergic to nuts. So she's out. She's like, I ain't even eating any of it, all right? So that is, for me, that's why I look at the ingredients. Now, if you wanted to go to the nutrition label, we could see that it's both serving size is 30 grams, so exact same serving size. So for the same amount of each, one has 160 calories, one has 180, another one has 9 grams of fat, the other one has 14, and then for sugars, Nutella has 17 grams of sugar, Justin's has 7. It's a big difference. And this is fake sugar, and this is organic real sugar. Okay, so let's talk about sugar. All right, let's talk about sugar, because listen, guys, whenever they make something low fat, low carb, low sugar, they actually add sugar to make it taste good. Hear what I said? When they make it low carb, low sugar, low fat, they add chemicals, they add sugar, artificial sugar, to make it taste good. All right, so if you saw my call that I did on sugar, you would know how bad it is. All right, so go watch the one on block. Like, even one Coke a day can wreak havoc because it is full of so much sugar. Now, white sugar is the worst of the worst. All right, it is the absolute worst. It is highly processed. It's been stripped of all other nutrients, okay? Sugar in of itself, forms of sugar, you can find less processed sugar, you know, like this. I'm going to let Adelaide have a little bit of sugar, but I'm going to make a good decision for her. So you can get less processed sugar, such as brown rice sweeteners. They usually have some fiber in them. Honey, right? We all know honey comes from an animal. It's natural, right? Molasses actually has some calcium and iron and magnesium in it, right? So even though those sugars, this one here, like organic cane sugar, even though they have a little bit more nutritional value than other processed sugars, keep in mind it's still sugar, all right? And you still want to keep it to a minimum. Yes, agave, honey, it's still sugar, okay? So if you're going to have sugar, definitely a better option, right? But remember, yeah, agave works, but remember, the World Health Organization daily recommended intake of sugar is 6 teaspoons. That equates to like 20-some grams for your whole day, all right? If you have a spoonful of honey, or if I had this right here, 2 tablespoons of this, that's my whole day's worth of sugar. What happens to extra sugar in your body that your body can't use for energy and brain function? It converts it to glucose, it spikes your insulin, and that glucose is stored as fat. That's why sugar makes you fat, not fat, okay? So even though all of these things are great, yeah, organic coconut sugar, organic stevia, whole plant stevia. Yeah, let's talk about stevia for a second. And then I'm going to invite these people on, guys. I don't want to be the only one talking to you. Plexus Slim has stevia. It's from the whole plant. It's the actual plant. It's water extracted. The stuff you see on the shelf, like Truvia, okay, it is not. It is chemically processed. So it might be stevia, but it's a chemical extraction process. That chemical is in the stevia. So I also want you guys, though, to be aware of hidden sugars. Because look, food companies are tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Sugar can masquerade under 1,000 names, okay? And again, these are things that as you start looking at labels, you're going to recognize them. So be on the lookout. Are you ready for this? I don't even expect you to write these down. Dextrose, fructose, galactose, glucose, lactose, levulose, maltose, sucrose, mannitol, sorbitol, xylitol, beet sugar, corn sweetener, high fructose corn syrup, invert sugar, isomalt, maltodextrin, maple sugar, sorghum, turbinado sugar, okay? Those, and I bet you can find even more. Those are all processed sugars. And they're just all variations of white sugar. They've either stripped some of the nutrients out of them, they've added more things, okay? Those are all different types of sugar, all different types. And they are in all of your foods because, guys, that's how they make packaged foods taste good. They have to hide the sugar in them or we wouldn't want to eat them, okay? So definitely go grab something that you think is healthy. Go grab a Triscuit box. Go grab whatever you want. And let's start looking at some labels, okay? Now, also know sugar alcohols, they probably deserve some special mention, especially when we have diabetics on here because those are a little tricky, and artificial sweeteners. So sugar alcohols are different than artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. Sugar alcohols, there's many different types. Some of the most common ones are like xylitol, sorbitol, mannitol. They usually end in the TOL. A food sweetened with sugar alcohol is going to have no sugar on the label. It's going to say 0 grams of sugar, but on the nutritional label, it's going to say sugar alcohol, xylitol, or whatever, okay? So even though sugar alcohols are not completely absorbed by the body, that means they do not impact your blood sugar level. So we have people who are diabetics, they like sugar alcohols, they like aspartame, and they like sucralose because it doesn't raise their blood sugar. However, the side effects of sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners are intestinal discomfort, bloating, gas, inflammation, right? So since we're all about gut health, we want to avoid those. Now, if somebody's a diabetic and they're like, hey, I don't care about that, I'm going to do artificial sweetener, that is their call. Like I said, tonight we are just educating you guys, okay? So let's look at some of our favorite foods, and I can give you guys a thumbs up or a thumbs down if I'm going to eat it. That doesn't mean you have to, okay? So the peanut butter that I sometimes feed Adelaide, because I have it out here, ingredients, made from peanuts, but peanuts is not the first ingredient. It says made from peanuts, okay? So it's not the whole peanut. Sugar is the second one. Palm oil is the third one. And then the other things on there, 2% or less of salt and molasses. So when it comes to all natural peanut butter, I'll tell you why I make this decision to buy it. When it comes to all natural peanut butter that I don't have to stir or keep in the fridge, this is the lesser of 27 evils in the grocery store shelf. If we ate a lot of peanut butter, this is not what I would buy. I would probably buy Justin's peanut butter. So Allie, I'm going to see if I can invite you on here. I don't know if I can. Where's Allie's name? I'm going to see if I can invite Allie. Are you ready, Allie? Let's see what happens here. Okay, Allie, I sent you an invite. See if you can see it. So Lois, yeah, let's see if Allie sees her invite. Let's see if she can connect. If it doesn't work. So, you know, it can be very confusing, Lois. That's why I said don't try to do this all at once. And you can't avoid everything when you're first going into this, or you're going to get overwhelmed and then you're going to be hungry. So what I would do, I would pick what's important to you. What's important to me is that my family, we are eating whole, real food. So that's why I look at those ingredients. And if I can't pronounce it, if it's a chemical, I'm going to avoid it, okay? I can go grab some things out of my pantry. I'm going to get a couple things here out of my fridge. Somebody posted earlier, so let's talk about a couple of things. Somebody posted, so let's talk about yogurt, all right? Yogurt is like my favorite thing because when you guys want to get healthy, People think yogurt is like the go-to breakfast, right? I am about ready to blow some of your minds, all right? Now, growing up, you know what I ate all the time? My parents ate it all the time? Yoplait. Yoplait yogurt. I don't have any because we don't eat it. Yoplait, the regular, the original Yoplait with the little foil lid, right? The original one, okay? It tastes delicious. Don't get me wrong, it's delicious. But original Yoplait, I'm looking at it right now, okay? Ingredients, milk, sugar, strawberries, cornstarch, gelatin, natural flavor, pectin, sugar, colored with carmine. I don't know what that is, but it shouldn't need artificial color. I don't think carmine's a vegetable or a fruit. Yogurt cultures, vitamin A, vitamin D. Okay, so except for a couple of things, I know what it is. But the second thing in Yoplait Original is sugar, milk, and sugar. So then I'm going and I'm looking at the total sugars, 18 grams. If you're eating Yoplait Original for breakfast, you can actually have this instead. Ice cream. You can have ice cream instead, all right? You know what's in my ice cream? Cream, milk, cane sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract. Exact same amount of sugar as in a Yoplait Original. So that's what I mean, okay? You just have to know what you are looking at. Now, obviously the Yoplait has a little bit of protein. It has 6 grams of protein. Guess how much my ice cream has? 4. So people think they're doing Yoplait Original and they think they're being super healthy. When you look at those labels, it is not. So you could have ice cream before you can, at the same time as you can have that Yoplait Original. Allie, I don't see you on, let me check the messages. I don't see you on there. I'm not sure if it's working. Oh yeah, and Marion's like, don't get me started on the culture. So here's the thing, guys. A lot of our Fit Squad is on tonight. If this doesn't work, they're just going to go live tomorrow and share with you guys because they're that awesome. All right. Now, some of you guys are like, well, I don't do Yoplait Original. Of course, it's full of sugar, Amy. I do Yoplait Light. Well, that's what I used to do when Steve and I got married. And, you know, you want to avoid the married 15 or whatever it is. You go with everything that's light. Okay. So anytime something is labeled light, it's going to have artificial sweetener in it. If it's light, if it's low sugar, if it's diet, if it's low carb, it is going to have fake sugar in it. So let's look at Yoplait Light, okay? It does have less sugar. It does have a little bit less calories. It actually has less protein. But let's look at the ingredients. Milk, peaches, that's good. Hello. The other one, it was like the third on the list, peaches, cornstarch, sugar, gelatin, peach juice concentrate, tricalcium phosphate, citric acid, natural flavor, potassium sorbate, asulfame potassium, artificial sweetener, colored with annatto extract, I don't know what that is, sucralose, artificial sweetener, vitamin A, yogurt cultures, vitamin D. Okay, that's the light. So it's crazy once you start. Let's see, here we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. It's not a separate group. So sorry guys, yeah, it's not a separate group. The big Plexus Fit Squad is a separate group. So if you want to participate in the Plexus challenges, you need to be in that group. Our Fit Squad, they are posting right here on our Pink Rockstars page. They're the ones, we've all been doing the 10-day sugar detox that Tamsin has lost 5 pounds on. They've been posting, like today they posted about water. They're going to be posting exercise tips. They're going to be going live. So it's not a separate group. We do it right here on our team page. Now, Chobani Greek yogurt flips. Let's go ahead and look. Real quick though, somebody, Debbie, I believe, you posted a yogurt on the actual event, and I want to, that is one that I would eat. Which one did you say there? You said the Oikos 000 yogurt vanilla, okay? So I looked at the label, looked at the ingredients list. This is Oikos. I'm not sure who makes it. I think it's a big company. It might be Yoplait, I don't know, but it's the Oikos. The ingredients are non-fat milk, chicory root fiber, water. Then it says contains less than 1% of natural flavors, stevia leaf extract. Now we don't know how that's processed. It does have malic acid, sodium citrate, vegetable juice concentrate, and beta carotene, and sea salt. I would eat that. My biggest things for me are artificial sweeteners and tons of chemicals. That doesn't look that bad. It's got 15 grams of protein. It has 6 grams of sugar. I'm assuming, I can't see the whole label, that it's per the whole cup. That's not bad. Now, I do prefer Greek yogurt because it has more protein. But that one wasn't that bad, you know? Okay, so let me jump back on here. Let's see. Now a lot of parents give their kids too, like the yogurt sticks. Let me get some of those. You know, like the Dannon or whatever. Same thing, guys. Read the labels. It's going to have all of that stuff in it. I give Adelaide the organic only because dairy products are full of antibiotics and hormones that they give the cows. So we try to almost always do all of our dairy organic and antibiotic free. This one still has stuff in it, like, you know, it's organic, but it's still a bean gum to help, I think, with the texture, but I do the Stonyfield. So anyway, Michelle, you had asked about wheat bread or rye bread. Here's my thing with bread. Bread isn't bad. A lot of people don't eat bread. Steve's going gluten-free, so he's not eating anything that has gluten in it. Bread isn't bad. I would just look at the ingredients list again and look at what you want to avoid. Let me go get my, let me go get my bread. We don't eat a lot of bread. If you eat a lot of bread and you want to be super healthy, I would get sprouted bread. So like Ezekiel, sprouted bread is going to be the best thing for you. Look, this has probably got mold on it. I get this bread because it has no high fructose corn syrup in it or artificial sweeteners. It's got whole wheat flour, water, wheat gluten, yeast, and then flax seed. So it's not the best. It's not the worst. You really just kind of have to decide on that. Yeah, sprouted whole grains. So Allie, I invited you. I don't think it's working, huh? Did you see the invite? So somebody asked me a question. Chobani Greek yogurt flip. So I'll tell you right away that the yogurt flips are going to have like the granola or something. So those are probably going to be full of sugar. But again, I'm not saying don't have it. Let's see, Chobani yogurt flips. Because they come in lots of different flavors, right? And guys, you can look at stuff online. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going with the Flip Classic, I guess. Apple Crisp Twist. Apple cinnamon low-fat Greek yogurt with spiced walnuts, cinnamon crunch, and pie crust pieces. Okay, that one is going to be full of sugar. I can tell you that because it's got pie crust and maple in it. Let's look at, do you have a favorite flavor you want me to look at? Yeah, so if you want the good bread, Michelle, definitely. Flaxseed is very, very good. Okay, Allie, let's try it again. The invite is still out there. Let me see, I can try to invite somebody else. Let me just invite, I don't know if they'll let me. Let's try to invite Lauren. Let's see if you see it on there, Lauren. I'm going to put you up right on the hot spot. Flaxseed is great. Flaxseed, though, is something that your body cannot absorb unless it's ground. Did you know that? The actual flaxseed does not get absorbed. So Steve and I would buy ground flaxseed, keep in the refrigerator. We sprinkle it on everything. Making pasta sauce, sprinkle it in. Make a salad, sprinkle it in. You can't taste it. We used to put that stuff on everything. So, okay, the Almond Cocoa Loco. Let me see if I can find the Almond Cocoa Loco. Chobani, let's look. Almond Coco Loco. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, let me grab it real quick so I don't forget while I'm looking for the Coco Loco. I want to talk about meat, processed meat. We all eat sandwiches. We all eat sandwiches. I grew up on bologna and mayonnaise sandwiches. Okay, there's the Coco Loco. Here we go. The Chobani. Show the ingredients. Okay, it's got low-fat yogurt, which is made, it's non-fat milk and cream, evaporated cane sugar. So sugar's the second ingredient. Even though it's cane sugar, it's still sugar, right? Water, almonds, chocolate liqueur, sugar again, coconut, honey, which is more sugar, coconut powder, cocoa butter, natural flavors, fruit pectin, sea salt, guar gum, locust bean gum. A lot of those gums are for consistency. Vanilla bean powder, lemon juice concentrate. It also says it contains milk, almonds, and coconut. So I could pronounce everything. Not too bad as far as chemicals go, but for 5 ounces, you are eating 21 grams of sugar. When you start your day with sugar, your body turns into a very slow machine. When you start your day with protein, it turns into a fat-burning machine. So if you're doing the almond Coco Loco for breakfast, I would not. If you are in the afternoon or like lunchtime and you're craving a candy bar, then I would have something with that much sugar. You got an invite to watch but not to join? Man, I'm sorry, guys. These guys put a lot of work into their, what they're going to talk about. But you guys are going to talk about tomorrow live. So you guys can just catch them on live. They will label their live. Like Allie's will say nut butters. We got somebody who's going to talk about protein powders. But let's go back really quickly. I want to talk about lunch meat. You saw me talk about ice cream. Guys, if you buy ice cream, Adelaide is a kid. I'm going to let her have ice cream. But I'm going to make the best decision I can. There are thousands of ice cream brands out there. Bluebell, if you live here in Texas, is like the big one. We won't buy it. We will only buy her Haagen-Dazs. And that is because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients, and I know what they are. It's cream, it's sugar, it's eggs, it's milk, it's vanilla extract, okay? So that, go look at that. The other one is lunch meats. Lunch meats are very hard because to make meat taste good that sits in a shelf or in your refrigerator and it's sliced, they have to fill it full of things called nitrates and nitrites. And those things are bad, bad, bad. They cause all kinds of inflammation. They wreak havoc on your gut. So I want to show you what to kind of look for when you are looking for lunch meat. If you really want to avoid chemicals, you have to buy the more expensive stuff. You have to buy the Applegate Naturals. And listen, guys, you also have to keep in mind that if something is labeled organic, that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have chemicals in it and it doesn't have sugar in it. So you still need to look, because per the FDA, they can pay for the organic label. It doesn't mean it's 100% all organic. It means some of their ingredients are organic. So we could have a whole nother call on specialty labels such as organic, gluten-free, what are some of the other ones? Cage-free, whole grain. Did you guys know that cage-free literally means they just leave the door open? It's not like chickens running around a field all free and having fun. So we could do a whole nother call on that. But you want to look for things that have less of those chemicals. So I've got some budded beef because when you make a cheese ball over the holidays, this is what you use. This stuff is bad. This is why over the holidays we're bloated and we're full and we need to increase our probiotics, because this first ingredient in here is beef that contains up to 15% of a flavoring solution. They're telling you right there. It's got some beef in it. It's not 100%. It contains 15% of a flavoring solution. It's got dextrose, potassium lactate, sodium diacetate, sodium erythorbate. These are not things on the periodic table, guys. Just because it says sodium and potassium, these are made in a lab. It also contains sodium nitrite and spices. Whew, this is full of chemicals. It's basically a little bit of beef and tons of chemicals, okay? What's here on my ham? Adelaide is like obsessed with ham and pickle sandwiches. So I try to get the best. I get the antibiotic free, because here's the thing. If you're a meat eater, if you're a dairy eater, our animal food supply, they pump them full of antibiotics. They pump them full of hormones. Why? They grow bigger. The bigger the cow, the more meat they can process, right? The more antibiotics they pump into them, the more milk they can get out of them. So our food supply is full of antibiotics and hormones. In fact, if you want to do some research, there are tons of studies out there on why young women nowadays in this decade versus in the 40s and 50s, they're developing a lot earlier. You know, sometimes we joke that girls now that are 12 didn't look like I did when I was 12. Some of that's not all just funny, you know, because they're wearing makeup. It's because a lot of the hormones and the antibiotics in your meats and your dairy, anything that comes from an animal. So anyway, if you look here, what's the ingredients in this one? Pork, water, sea salt, cane sugar, celery powder. That's it. None of that, what was it? It has none of that dextrose, potassium lactate, sodium diacetate, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrite. It has none of that. So this I'm fine giving to Adelaide, okay? Same with hot dogs. I mean, we don't even really want to go into hot dogs as far as if they're 100% beef or if they're like lips and hooves. But again, when I'm looking at this, because she loves hot dogs, I'm still going to let her have them. I'm just going to make a good decision. Grass-fed beef, water, sea salt, paprika, dehydrated onions, nutmeg oil, and celery powder. That is it. All right. So again, I'm looking at the ingredients. I didn't even look at the nutrition label. I didn't care the daily value of calories. I didn't care the fat. Now, let's talk a little bit about that though. Let's say you're like, okay, Amy, I got the ingredients. It's all natural, but I still want to lose weight. Of course you do. So then we're going to count our calories. We're going to count our carbs. Depending upon how you eat, some people, like if you're doing Whole30 or if you're trying to do low carb, some people don't care about the fat. As long as it's a healthy fat, they don't care how much you have, right? So one way you can tell typically how much fat is in something, and this is something people don't know. So next to the total, I don't know if you guys can see this, next to the total fat grams is this percentage, right? Have you ever wondered what that is? See that daily percentage? So this ice cream has 15 grams of fat, and it's 23% of your daily value. What that means is, and see the saturated fat, 45%. What that means is this daily value is set by the FDA, and it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So what this is saying is if you eat this whole thing and you get those 15 grams of fat, you've had 23% of the fat for your recommended daily intake, okay? That assumes you're eating 2,000 calories a day. That assumes you're counting your fat and your calories. I am not someone who likes to count my fat and calories. Now, obviously, if you're trying to lose weight, we know that calories in have to be less than calories burned, correct? But a lot of people, especially if you have an autoimmune disease like me, my body just responds better to a low carb diet where I'm not looking at the fat if it's a healthy fat, right? Like I can have an avocado, but I can't have an ice cream, see? Sorry guys, I'm just now getting here. Yeah. So what about deli meat? I would still, when you're at the deli, Tamsin, you can ask them, you know, to see the label that's on the big hunk of meat in the deli that they actually slice off. You can ask them to see the label. Like boar's head is not too bad, but unless it says, unless it has that natural and it says right here, no nitrates or nitrites added, except for those naturally occurring in celery powder. Unless it says that, it's going to have those chemicals in it. You cannot have lunch meat without nitrates and nitrites, or like if you ever have something that says real smoke flavoring, that means they added nitrates and nitrites in it, okay? I don't know what root beer sugar is, Debbie. I would have to Google that one. I would definitely say, I mean, it's definitely a sugar. And I know root beer is not natural, so I don't know what that would be. Sorry, I'm just catching up on some. Whole double G ham. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find some of these. I've never heard of that one. And again, guys, you know, I'm not saying you have to throw all of your food out, right? I'm just saying if, you know, now you're a little bit more educated on the ingredient list. So let's just pick one here. Oh, they actually on their website, that's the other thing, guys. If you go to a website and it's hard to find the ingredient list, you know they might be trying to hide something. This one, though, looks like a local, like a honey, what is it, the honey ham, a honey baked ham. It looks like a big company. I don't see their instructions on here anywhere. I don't see their ingredient list. Sorry, I don't even about ham. No, I don't see that on there. Okay, let me catch up. Organic Applegate. Yep. Gross. Lots of gross. Yeah. Yes, it's like the videos you see. Spices, right there, Sarah. Hey, babe, where's the sick button? That's hilarious. You better eat that before it melts. I know, I better put the ice cream back away. Oh, beetroot sugar? If it's beetroot sugar, then it's from the beetroot, but it's still sugar, right? Hang on. Let me get a couple of it. Is there anything else you guys want to see? I'm about ready to go grab a couple things out of the pantry. Oh my gosh, I want to talk about salad dressing. Holy moly. Salad dressings are the devil. Oh, I also want to talk about something else here. How many people use Pam? How many people use Pam? Now look, it's funny that I even have some of these things. You can tell it was like holiday time, okay? Let's talk about nonstick Pam. Yeah, Jamie, check that at the store. All right, everybody uses Pam, right? Duh, that's how you get stuff to not stick. Although I have a pan over there that I can tell you guys about that I bought. I don't have to ever put anything in it. Nothing sticks to it. It's the best thing ever. But, okay, I bought this not for cooking. I bought it for something. It was like an art project. But I have a great example of these two, okay? Pam, I grew up on it. We use Pam for everything. Ingredients: canola oil, palm oil, coconut oil. That doesn't sound too bad. But one thing you have to know about oils, canola oil, palm oil, what are some of the soybean oil? They are inflammatories. They are not healthy for you. It's kind of like high fructose corn syrup. Has the name corn in it. You think it'd be good, but it's not. Also, dimethyl, silicone, natural milk flavor. I think that's because it's the butter one, okay? Or if you don't want any of that stuff, yeah, because even though you're spraying this on your pan and you don't use a lot, you're still ingesting it. You're still eating it. This 100, what's the ingredient? Olive oil. That's it. Extra virgin olive oil, only ingredient. This tells you it needs that silicone for the anti-foaming and it needs the dimethyl for the spraying. It really doesn't. It's just cheaper because this right here sprays just the same and this is just olive oil. So again, just knowing how to read your labels. Yeah, don't use non-stick sprays. There's a pump you can buy that you can put your own oil in it and you pump it and it sprays. I've yet to find one that actually works really good. I've got the coconut oil. If you can see back here, I have a big jar right there of coconut oil. I'm a little picky though, guys. I love coconut. I do not like coconut oil in a lot of my foods because I can taste the coconut. So, yeah, you'd be better off using whole organic butter. Definitely use, yep, avocado oil. Good. You guys are good. Virgin olive oil. Yep. What am I doing to my food? Yeah, so you just don't know. It's the misto. Thank you. Thank you. It is the misto. I had one and it like pumped and then it just like, it didn't spray evenly and like drizzle, so it's much easier to use like a paper towel and olive oil or whatever. I do have, so the other thing we could, oh man, we could go on forever, guys. We've already been on here almost an hour. We could have a whole call on dairy, a whole call on butter. Like I will only use this butter now. Only where is it? I will only use this pure Kerrygold butter. That's all I will use. It's pasteurized cream and salt. That's it. Let's talk salad dressings though, because when you're gonna be live, sorry, I just saw Marion said she's gonna go live. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Marion. When you wanna get healthy, what do? You eat more salad, okay? We all do. But I can't tell you how many times I see somebody at this store, they got a great salad, it's full of cheese, it's full of croutons, and it's covered in ranch dressing. That was me minus the croutons back in the Atkins days, okay? You could eat whatever you wanted, full of cheese and ranch. But guess what? Guess what? Okay, couple of things. One, you do that, you might as well go have a Big Mac. It's the same amount of fat and calories. Two, if you're looking at salad dressings, they're full again of chemicals. And a lot of people, I used to be this way, you're like, well, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to get the reduced calorie ranch. Guys, reduced calorie anything is so full of even more chemicals. You're better with the whole fat version. I try to tell people this all of the time. Please, please, please do not do low fat anything. Because to make it low fat and still taste good, they have to fill it full of chemicals. So low fat ranch, the worst, okay? Yeah, Marion bathes in coconut oil. I would be a giant pimple if I did that. I know she tells me I wouldn't. Danny, yeah, you lucked out on dressings. Is balsamic vinegar good? Well, I'm glad you asked. Homemade salad dressing's the best. I'll tell you what Steve and I use now. We use pure balsamic vinegar, and some people drizzle that on their salad, and then they drizzle olive oil on it. I don't even do the olive oil. I like just balsamic vinegar. When you put a little bit of that on there, it gives you that like wet taste of dressing, but you can actually taste the salad. Now, here is also, because look, we have people to come to our house, and some people don't want just pure balsamic, so we got to have stuff for our friends, right? This is Newman's Own light balsamic. What did I tell you about light? Now, it also says on here, no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. Okay, that's a win. That's a bonus. I like Paul Newman's food. Most of his stuff's organic. Sorry, guys, I'm just not catching up. So let's look at what is in his light balsamic vinegar, okay? His is water. That's good. Balsamic vinegar. That's important that it's in the top 3 because, hello, it's balsamic vinegar dressing. Vegetable oil, which says it could be soybean oil and or canola oil. And sugar, distilled vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, salt, garlic, comma, spice, comma, onion. So I don't know what that spice is. Xanthan gum, red bell pepper, paprika. So I could pronounce all of that, okay? I can't pronounce all the things that are in this ranch. So HEB brand salad dressing is going to be worse than this. But still, you can see it's probably expired. No, not yet. It's not even open. This is for when we have guests. It's not even open yet. We don't eat it because of all that soybean oil and canola oil and the sugar. But not bad. I would eat that if I had to. This is this is expired. Expired about 6 months ago. So clearly I need to clean out my fridge. Camera queen, I need my own show. So we can look up the Opa Greek yogurt ranch now. A lot of those that say Greek yogurt, right? All of the things, like there's Greek yogurt dressing, there's Greek yogurt dip, there's Greek yogurt ice cream. You still want to look at the ingredients, right? So here's the thing. That one might be great. It might be great. But a lot of companies, like I said, are catching on to the whole let's eat healthy. So they're putting those key words on their labels. Made with Greek yogurt, right? Made with this, right? Made with, all natural. That doesn't mean anything. Anybody can put that on their label. Did you guys know that? But that's why they cannot lie on the ingredient list. They cannot lie on the nutrition facts. So let's look at this ranch for people who love ranch dressing. Vegetable oil, which again, soybean and or canola, water, egg yolk, sugar, salt, buttermilk. Okay, if it stopped right there, I'd be totally fine eating this dressing. If that's all there was in it, other than the first ingredient being vegetable oil, I would be okay eating it, but it goes on. You guys ready? Distilled vinegar, dried garlic, dried onion, not that. Phosphoric acid, monosodium glutamate. You guys know what that is? That's MSG. Hello, that's the stuff that is so bad that like most places say no MSG. Like you go to a Chinese restaurant and they all have no MSG everywhere. Monosodium glutamate right there. Xanthan gum, modified cornstarch, natural and artificial flavors, spice again, potassium sorbate, and calcium disodium EDTA. I don't know what that is, but that sounds like a pesticide. Disodium phosphate, disodium isonate, and disodium guanylate. No wonder it's expired. That's going in the trash. So, okay, yogurts, you say they come flavored, water, bubblegum. A lot of them have a bold printed P word. Yes, you are correct. I'm glad you brought that up, Deanna. So, aspartame is like the Kleenex. It's like the brand name, right? So you're right. Companies in big, bold letters, it's because aspartame is so bad for you and a lot of people have reactions. It'll say, in fact, let me look it up so I can type it because I can't even pronounce it. It's phenyl, yeah. Anybody else? Let me ask her. Tame. What's it? It's phenylkinetics or something. Phenylalanine. Phenylalanine. Something. Let me see. And it's bolded on the ingredients list. And a lot of people tell you, hey, I don't mind eating that, guys. So that is what is on labels. Let me go. If you guys, it's been an hour. Love hanging out with you guys. I'm going to go get one thing, then I'm going to jump off here just to respect everybody's time, okay? Real quick. All right, real quick, do you guys have any questions? Please come through because I'm only going to stay on here for a couple more minutes. Tomorrow, our Fit Squad is going to be going live. Allie has a great thing about butters. Marion's going to go live. We got somebody else who's going to talk about protein powders. But again, just to recap, you want to look at the ingredient list. It's in order of most bulk ingredients to least. Okay, so the first 3-4 ingredients, that's really what you're eating. And the nutrition label then is going to have your fat, your calories, your sodium, your cholesterol, which is important, but I would argue that the ingredient list is way more important because we can fill a food full of chemicals and make it fat-free, calorie-free. I mean, hey, who didn't eat a whole box of Snackwells back in the day? Like when Snackwells came out, I was like, yes, chocolate cookies that are fat-free, give me the whole box, okay? Well, it's no wonder I have an autoimmune disease. Hello, all those chemicals wreaked havoc on my gut. So yes, I'm so glad you guys are loving it. Baby step it. Just look at some of your favorite foods. If you're eating that Yoplait yogurt every day, and I showed you how it compares to the ice cream, make some swaps. Here's some Triscuits we have left over from the holidays. I mean, Triscuits, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ingredients, not bad. Whole grain wheat, canola oil, salt, rice starch, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, olive oil, citric acid, and natural flavor that contains celery. I mean, overall, I could pronounce all that, So it's not bad. I'm sure I ate these over the holidays with the cheese ball full of all the nitrates and nitrates from the beef. But you also, if you want, there are healthier versions of crackers out there that aren't going to have the salt in them, and they're not going to have the canola oil, right? So it's all about reading ingredients. This is another one, of course. Who didn't have this over the holidays? This is my favorite. You weirdos that make like homemade cranberry sauce with real cranberries, I want the chemicals in a can. In fact, this is sugar and cranberries. It's cranberries, high fructose corn syrup, and water. 4 ingredients. 2 of them are sugar. So anyway, just look, and this is the other thing I grabbed. It's probably expired too. I'm telling you guys, I went into my pantry, and because I started reading ingredients years ago, we don't have a whole lot of stuff in there that I could show you as an example, because we just don't eat it anymore. So a lot of the stuff is old, or like when we have family come and they buy it. This right here is just like honey cornbread, right? Like that's how you make cornbread. No, you don't want to make stuff from a box. Like pancakes from a box, especially the pancakes where like you just have to add water and all of a sudden you have pancake batter. No bueno, okay? Look at the labels. This one, unbleached wheat or unbleached flour that contains thiamine mononitrate, enzymes, ascorbic acid, soybean oil, sodium acid pyrophosphate, xanthan gum, honey powder. Doesn't even contain honey. Honey cornbread doesn't even contain honey. It contains honey powder. That's fantastic. So anyway, again, just know what because if you look at this, it looks great. It's Krusteaz. It's a new look, same great taste. Made with real honey. Look, guys, it says right there, made with real honey. I didn't even notice that. But legit, if you look at this, can you guys see? It's the second to last ingredient, and it's honey powder. It's not even like whole honey. So see how they can label it however they want? Made with real honey. It's the 12th ingredient, and it's honey powder. Well, I think I'm going to end on that because that was fantastic. Oh, Lois, you want to know about the goldfish? Yeah. Ooh, Jamie, you can without high fructose corn syrup? Does it have the ribs on the can where I can slice it? Just kidding. Let me go get the goldfish real quick. All right, my kid loves goldfish. Who doesn't like goldfish? I mean, I eat goldfish if I have a glass of wine, but they are not that great. In fact, they make an organic cheddar. So Annie's makes an organic cheddar bunny, which are great until your kid tastes goldfish, because the organic cheddar bunnies don't have as much salt, so they don't, their flavor profile is not as intense, okay? They also make Whole Foods, or maybe it's Walmart, they make an all-natural organic cheddar frog. So I've tried those. Adelaide hates them all. Once your kids eat the daggone goldfish, and they will, if your kids have friends and are in school, like you can't keep your kid in a bubble, they're going to eat goldfish. So now, actually, I mean, I have to give goldfish some credit. They're not as bad as they could be. But again, if you're going to buy goldfish, there's like 27 different kinds of goldfish nowadays. I actually have 2 in my pantry. I have the baked with whole grain colors because she likes the rainbow goldfish. I only get the colors because, look, no artificial. The colors are from plants. Oh man, I want to say never, but I can't. If I could, I would never let Adelaide have red dye, blue dye, yellow dye, okay? Because it's bad, bad, bad. But like, look, she's a kid. I have organic suckers in there, but her grandparents gave her some candy over Christmas that's got red number dye in it, so I let her have it. But anyway, I have this one, and then I have this one. Organic, okay? This one is non-GMO. No artificial flavors or preservatives, color from natural ingredients. Well, let's see. Let's look at the ingredient list, okay? Let's look at this one. Now, hey, if you're buying this, they're more expensive. So let's look. Organic wheat flour, sunflower and or safflower oil, cheddar cheese, salt, yeast, sugar, baking soda, paprika, spices, and in parentheses it says celery, monocalcium phosphate, and onions. All right, not too bad. I don't know what that monocalcium phosphate is, but, you know, it's not bad. Okay, I don't mind giving these to her. Yeah, I use the Annie's. I use the Annie's mac and cheese, guys, but Horizon is creamier. If you use the Horizon organic, it's a lot creamier. Okay, goldfish. This is not regular goldfish. So if you go buy the goldfish, this is not it. This is the baked with whole grain colors. But I want to read to you what's in this, okay? Whole wheat flour, enriched wheat flour, which is niacin, reduced iron, thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid. We know how bad folic acid is for people who may have the MTHFR gene mutation. Canola and or sunflower oil, cheddar cheese, salt, yeast, natural flavor, yeast extract, spices, comma, celery, not parentheses. So if it says spices, parentheses, celery, then that's what the spice is. If it says spices, comma, the next thing, those are two separate things. Celery, sugar, monocalcium phosphate, baking soda, onion powder. The colors, though, come from beet and watermelon juice. And then the flavor concentration is paprika, turmeric, and annatto. So, more ingredients than the other one I showed you. Still, obviously, I'm okay giving it to my kid because she wants the daggone goldfish. Don't try to feed her the bunnies. Don't try to feed her the frogs. She wants the goldfish, okay? All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I don't see any other questions. We can always do this again. If you guys have more questions, you can always like post it on the team page. You can, you know, comment on here. I can answer tomorrow. You won't get me live. But man, this was fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. And again, I am not an expert. This is just what I have learned in cleaning up our eating. Stay tuned tomorrow for our own healthy eating people. So real quick, so you'll know who to look for. All right, Allie, Ambry, Amy Morton might jump on, Caitlin might, but I definitely know Allie, Ambry, Marion, and Lauren. They definitely are going to jump on because they have some labels they want to talk to you guys about. Jen Buckley might also jump on, but be looking for those names. If they go live, you definitely want to, hold on, I got a couple more questions. Check them out. Thanks, guys. Let's see. Do you follow Food Babe or Nutrition who knows what the big words are? Yeah, and for a lot of those big words, so, you know, especially when I'm in the grocery store, if it's something that, what was that one I wasn't sure of right here? I'll just Google it on my phone. The monocalcium phosphate. I'll just check it out real quick. You know, we could do a whole nother call too, guys, on things you definitely want to avoid. We could do another call on like the dirty dozen if you need organic versus not, because, you know, not all fruits and veggies need to be organic. So anyway, thanks, guys. I also can post. I have some things pinned on what some of those words are and what they mean and some of the really bad ones. I will post that on the team page. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Bye.